So now I'd like to invite our next speaker, Azwami. He's new to our conference. Have you been to any of our conferences in the past at all, or? But this is the first time you've spoken at one of our conferences? This is the first time. Okay, welcome. Come on up.
Okay, good evening, and first of all, I would like to thank Apnic for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. So my name is Aswami Arifin, and I think I have a longer name actually. So Aswami Arifin can be quite long too. So I'm known as AA back in Malaysia. So today I'll be sharing on our project, latest project, coordinated malware eradication, in short CME, project framework, so-called Malaysia perspective. And today I would like to, this evening, to tell you a story rather than to repeat, because I think Yuri will get bored. Because just now we had our SC meeting at episode level. So I would like to change my script a bit so that you won't get bored. Okay. I'm more of a forensic guy rather than a cert. I have my colleagues back there, Mr. Adli, former of head of my cert, and the current one is Mr. Magat. So this project is very much of my cert project. It's just that when I came back to Malaysia, I'm being entrusted to look to supervise my cert together with digital forensics. And being in forensics, I have to do a lot of things. And the latest is to investigate our airplane cases. We have lost 2 airplanes this year. So I've done a lot of forensic cases. I personally involved, being called to appear in the court as an expert witness. And when I came back, and I have to be in charge of my cert, then what is the big thing that we should do? So after discussing with the team, we have decided to embark into CME. And the project, after deliberation with the team members, we divided the project into 4 phases. Yeah, the first one is to have a framework. At the beginning, I've tried to get some information. The best guy is to refer to Dave Dietrich, who did a lot of takedowns in the US, and some of the colleagues have some experience to take down some of the cases in Europe. So after referring to literature, it's more of a case study rather than to get some kind of information with regard to framework, because this is massive. It's a campaign. It will involve at national level and hopefully together with APCert in the future. So being a forensic guy background, I involve a lot with law enforcement agencies. We have heard about Craig just now. Almost everything, be it homicide or other cases, is not cyber security or cyber crime per se. There is element of digital forensics. So in order to get the buy-in, we have to have a framework, because without framework, they would not be able to understand. Yeah, what is botnets? It's difficult to tell the law enforcement agencies, bots, botnets, CNC, what they can do. Yeah, so it's a very challenging and tiring process, and we decided to have a framework so that we are able to share with them the processes, the components of the framework. So apart from the technical stuff that is very interesting for us, being the technical people, we have to have the governance part, the management part of it, and as I said, forensic is a marriage of technical and legal. So we have to look into the legal stuff, whether we can use it or not. Whether Malaysia we have a provision, legal provision to be able to do takedowns. And last but not least is the project duration. Yeah, whether it's 6 months, 1 year. At this point of time, it's difficult for me to say. Yeah. The second one, budget, money. Yeah, it's not. It's easy to say that okay, we going to have a takedown. Yeah, most probably after doing some forensic analysis, we are able to pick up certain family variant of malware. So, but the budget, how do you get the budget? To be able to tell your employer or shareholders or the stakeholders that this is important stuff, the takedowns, yeah, because they have not heard, or most probably they have read somewhere about the takedowns, but at the same time, some quarters, I've been to some conferences. There are law enforcement agencies saying that why it's not good, it's not practical. If you do a lot of takedowns, the cyber criminals, they are going to be evolving. Yeah, it's a difficult. What is really your aim or objective? So we tend to rather bring it in a different perspective, more on capacity and capability building rather than takedown per se. Yeah, and hopefully. Because only by last week we have devised the framework and already been shared at the SC of APCert level, and hopefully when we go back we are able to present it to our stakeholders. So framework done, and the next one is to request for budget, and by looking at it from the framework itself, I think it's gonna be in $1 million. Yeah, it's not a cheap thing to do. And once we have a very good framework, which is not available, literature review I've done, scouting through a lot of databases. Dave Dietrich only shares on the case study, not the framework itself, how they approach it. Most probably because of confidentiality. Yeah, so we have our own framework here, budget, and once we have both the framework and the budget, we are able to kickstart the campaign. Yeah, to go all around to meet all stakeholders, to basically engage with them, tell them what's the plan, what is the objective, what are we going to achieve, and once they understand it, then most probably the collaboration will take place, and hopefully we can do the malware eradication, coordinated malware eradication project. Yeah. And the last part is, can be quite scary when you have to review it, whether this project is going to be successful, total eradication. I have to say it's not going to be total eradication. That's why I need to present it as a capacity and capability building rather than take down per se. Yeah, and I think about 4 phases altogether. Yeah, unless in the future we have some kind of inputs, most probably it's going to be 5 or 6, not more than that. So this is more or less the framework. Yeah, it's a very straightforward framework. It has about 6 components altogether. The first one is the best part, I think, for technical people to do forensics analysis. Yeah, we can get from our reporting system the informations, the feeds and whatnot. And we have our, some kind of honeynet deployment. We can get some information, and we have a collaboration with Microsoft with respect to this project. We have been there in Redmond. We have the opportunity to visit their DCU, the lab, and we are able to see, they can enlarge it, show this is Malaysia map, infections with IP. So we want some kind of information from Microsoft. We are not totally depending to Microsoft. Hopefully they are going to give a very good information for this project. At the same time, we engage with vendors who has experience in takedowns. For example, like FireEye. It's not officially, but it's just through some kind of relationship, we are able to talk to them. And also other companies, antivirus companies. Yeah. And from there onwards, we are able to understand the threat levels, and also through APCert, most probably we are able to get some kind of information from other sets. Yeah. So with this respect, I mean, with the first step, we are able to more or less decide on the which malware is prevalent to Malaysia, and we can decide, concentrate, focus on one malware. And once we decided, we know, we understand already the threat vector, threat coverage. We understand how it works, the malware configuration itself, and we can plan the preventive measure, whether it's a physical takedown, sinkholing and whatnot. So that is the third step, and most probably Microsoft will be able to give some patches and bug fixes, or we have to jump to the fifth step. That means we have to develop our detection and removal tool. The target audience, once we have done, I would say it's quite complex technical forensics analysis, technical analysis. To engage with the stakeholder is another challenge. Yeah, the governance part, the legal part, to work with the regulatory bodies, law enforcement agencies, to get the buy-in. Yeah, and I've mentioned about legal budget just now. And once okay, hopefully, if everything is good, we can do it this year or next year. The campaign will start. Yeah, to kick off the campaign. So the fifth step is once we have the tools, it's a combination of both manual and also automation, is to give technical write-up, advisories, and most probably signatures. And the sixth component or the sixth step is, as I said earlier, is not going to be 100%, because there's a lot of discussion, the good and bads of takedown. And we have to observe, we have to monitor again, whether it's going to be reinfection. We have to get a lot of feedbacks just to know whether this project or this campaign is successful. If not, it's going to be all over again. This is ever learning process. We have to go to step 1, and it goes round and round, and we see how it goes later on. That's why we have to review, put a stop, and provide report. I think that's about it that I want to share with the participant today. So if you have any question, I open up for Q&A. No question, hungry. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Azwami. So, next.